Hello and welcome back to the Jambar in 10. I'm Matt Sotler.
And I'm Josh Robinson.
With conversations surrounding hate speech, freedom of speech on college campuses has become a controversial topic. Zach Greenberg, First Amendment attorney at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, says while hate speech is protected by the First Amendment, there are exceptions.
Under the First Amendment, hateful and offensive speech remains protected unless it rises to a level of unprotected speech, such as a true threat, discriminatory harassment, or obscenity. And this is because even speech that is offensive still has value. We still want to hear the truth.
According to FIRE, YSU is a yellow light school. This means policies are vague and can lead to students self-censoring. YSU President Bill Johnson believes YSU's policies don't need to change.
I oversee the university's policies, and I'm convinced that our policies support the notion of free speech, the foundation of free speech. I've said it many times. Our policies reaffirm that. That's not going to change.
FIRE takes case submissions through their website, thefire.org, year-round.
Kilcawley Center opened in April of 1974 and has since been a place for students to gather, whether to chat, study, or eat on YSU's campus. With the upcoming plans for the new Student Center, Jambar contributors Nicholas Bianco and Reagan Hilton looked into Kilcawley's history.
In the 1950s, the idea of a student center began. However, construction did not begin until a $300,000 donation was made by William H. Kilcawley and his wife Maddie. Since then, Kilcawley Center has held many new and annual events, one of these events being the YSU English Festival, which has been held in Kilcawley Center since its founding in 1978.
The Kilcawley Student Center has been the venue for many things on campus, not just for students, but for the English Festival and for math and science competitions, for History Day, for the community.
Kilcawley Center has also seen many different food options during its time. Cassie Nesper, curator of University Archives and Special Collections, said that at one point it held a bar called The Pub, which was located in what the Hub is today.
The Pub is something that is very different that students today probably don't know about, but they did serve beer down in the bottom level of Kilcawley where the Hub is now. And it was a place for students to go and hang out, either in between classes or afterwards.
Some other food options that Kilcawley Center previously offered include the Wicker Basket, Sbarro Pizza, and other fast food chains. The Wicker Basket was a nicer sit-down restaurant where Chick-fil-A is located now. For more information on Kilcawley Center's history, make sure to check out yesterday's edition of the Jambar newspaper.
What an interesting piece. Let's kick it over to Taziah with our sports update.
Thanks, Matt. The Youngstown State University men's and women's swimming and diving teams showcased a strong home 10 in the Beagley Natatorium. I have more on the team's latest competition. The Penguins hosted St. Bonaventure University and came away with the sweep at home. The men's team put up 150 to the Bonnies 148, while the women's team racked up 152.5 to the Bonnies 147.5. YSU swimmers and divers saw a series of first-place finishes, including two from sophomore diver Hannah Held, winning the 1 and 3 meter dive with scores of 273.68 and 272.78. Senior Ellen Linshed came in second in the 1 meter dive with a score of 267. Linshed said she critiques herself on all three phases of her dive.
Mainly, before the meet, I'm just kind of, I get a little stressed, but I kind of just try and focus on what I want out of the dive, the main key points for each dive. And I try not to focus on the whole thing as a whole, just on okay, I have my first dive, 105C, I focus on three things, the top of the dive, staying tight in the tuck, and then tight kick out. So I just kind of take it one dive at a time.
While Helen Linshed took care of business in the diving events, the Penguin swimmers ran the table, or should I say swam the table, in the pool. Senior Olivia Koniak had herself an eventful evening in the pool, totaling 3 separate wins. Koniak spoke on the Division I athletic lifestyle and how she balances her necessities while staying locked in with her sport.
Definitely recovery is a big part of being a D1 athlete. Definitely thinking about going to the trainers, doing ice baths, getting those arms capped or anything else. Definitely everything's, I would say that the scheduling and planning your day is definitely a key for you as an athlete to make sure that we do everything to be the best.
Fifth-year senior Gavin Redden tallied a win in the 100 freestyle. As a veteran, Redden said the energy over the years has been essential for other teams to know that this team is nothing to take lightly.
Now that we actually have a good team and we got some depth going on and we can do some damage to some of these bigger schools, we got this big energy. We want to show them that we're not someone to mess with. We're not some easy people you can just walk all over. So we try to get loud anytime we get a victory, anytime we get close to a victory. We're just screaming our heads off because we want to show our support for our teammates and we want to show the other teams that we're here. Don't think we're some little school that we don't know what we're doing. We're here to fight.
The Penguins will be back in action when they travel to Rochester, Michigan today and tomorrow for a showdown versus Oakland. To view live stats and stay updated, visit ysusports.com. And as always, for the Jambar, I'm Tazaya Howard. The YSU women's tennis team competed in the Rocket Invitational at the University of Toledo on September 28th. In singles, senior Julia Marco defeated Michigan State's Orana Parkins Godwin and DePaul's Sasha Stula. Freshman Sarah Partida Garcia won her first match against DePaul's Eleanor Cochran and later beat Michigan State's Sarah Fazlagic. In doubles, sophomore Yesenia Ovcharova and junior Lene Graylin defeated Fazlaja and freshman Amara Brombat. Marco and senior Gada Deeringer won against Toledo's Gabby Rondon and Jacquelina Skolton. The Penguins return on October 4th for the Horizon League Championships, hosted by Cleveland State University. The YSU men's tennis team returned from Horizon League individual championships in Cleveland on September 30th, with 4 players securing wins. In singles, sophomore Onder Balshi defeated Texas Southern's Adler Germinal and Cleveland State's Nico Jameson. Senior William Rossat beat Northern Kentucky's Xavier Karma and Belmont's Sabi Roy. In doubles, freshman Matteo Serrarali and Philippe Adiv won up against both Belmont's Ansanjay Ndumbe and Roy. The Penguins will be back on a court October 10th for the ITA Midwestern Regional hosted by Michigan State. On September 28th, the Youngstown State University football team opened conference play. The game was an offensive shootout with the final score ending in a loss for the Penguins, 38-31. The Penguins led in both passing and rushing yards by sophomore quarterback Bro Bungard, as he finished with the 180 yards through the air as well as 110 on the ground. Scoring for the Penguins saw 4 rushing touchdowns, 2 coming from Brungard and 1 each from senior Tyshawn King and Ethan Wright. The Penguins will be back at home tomorrow for the homecoming game against Indiana State University. Following back-to-back sweeps in the brand-new Beagley Center for the first time since 2000, emotions were high for the YSU women's volleyball team heading into Horizon League play. A doubleheader against Wisconsin Green Bay was first for the Penguins in conference on September 27th and 28th. And fifth-year senior Diane Malave said head coach Riley Jarrett's motivational, always letting the team know that they can compete with anyone.
Jarrett, she's always encouraging us. She's always telling us, we can do this. We know that it's like, it might be like a hard team, but we still like a really good team. We still can like get to that point. So it's always words of encouragement with her, and she's always able to give us feedback and tell us like what we can improve and what we can better to beat those teams.
Despite multiple leads in both games, Green Bay was able to pull away with wins on both match days. The Phoenix swept in Game 1 while taking Game 2 3-1. Looking to bounce back, the Gwins took on Robert Morris in Moon Township, Pennsylvania on October 1st. The Colonials pulled out the win in 5 sets with a 15-12 victory in the final set. Despite the loss, junior Abby Householder posted a career high in kills with 26. The Penguins continue their 3-game road stint against Northern Kentucky University on October 4th and 5th. Live stats can be found at ysusports.com. That's all we have for the latest YSU Sports Update. Now let's kick it back to the desk.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Jambar in 10. I'm Matt Sattler.
And I'm Josh Robinson.
We'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.